Hello and welcome to Reviews. As always, I'm Plume Noir, and this is Gwenpool Strikes Back number 3. This is what I come back to, making videos, and I decided to start with this. Great. So anyway, we have another cover by Terry Dodson, which really the covers have been the best thing about the book. Yeah, it's a little cheesecakey, but I like cheesecake. And they do make a reference to the cover. They've pretty much done that in all the issues. But here she is, with Hulk about to smash her. But you're probably, if you read the previous issue or saw my review, you know that Gwenpool and Deadpool are inside Mr. Fantastic, and that it makes sense in context, kinda. And Deadpool is about to kill Gwenpool for nearly unmasking Spider-Man, his buddy. So what are the consequences of this, right? He was super mad. Yeah, here we have the opening page, blah, blah, blah. And we have them running down the street. Deadpool is chasing Gwenpool with his giant gun he pulled out of nowhere. Mr. Fantastic and the Invisible Woman are chasing them. Now, I kind of have a problem with this. Holy cow, can you hear my cats running? They're chasing each other. So, Mr. Fantastic had enveloped them, and he was holding them, within his malleable, stretchable body. And somehow they got free. Not really explained how that happened. Maybe Mr. Fantastic felt the gun, decided to open up and let them out. And Reed asks, "Why didn't you just force field them originally, Sue?" "Oh, I thought you were experimenting with something new, dear. I want to give you the opportunity to at least try." Now, as you can see by Deadpool's arm, and they're just a little bit in front of them. Sue could still put a force field around them, or even a force field wall in front of them to block them. There is nothing stopping her. So what this is showing is that the cliffhanger from the end of the previous issue means nothing. They don't even really have Leah Williams didn't even put in like a way for them to reasonably get out of it. Oh, my cats are so wound up. They're chasing each other. So Gwenpool decides to jump out of the comic panel and uses the artist to scare him, somehow appearing on his tablet because he's drawing her. He dumps his coffee back into the panel. Okay. Dumps the coffee on Reed and Sue, and that is what allows them to escape. And then they just kind of leave the street into the blank area, into the gutters or something. I don't know. Now, I will say, I actually kind of like this part. I know the book's supposed to be silly, and even though I need to trim my nails. Even though I really hated the fact that the cliffhanger from the previous issue had no bearing, just somehow they're free, and Sue and Reed have to be idiots to let them run away from them. This is an interesting use of Gwen's powers, and given her, I guess you would call it reality manipulation. I actually kind of like this. Uh, Maybe my standards have just become so low. So then we get the Gwenpool chart. What is with all these comics lately wanting to do flow charts? And basically a helpful guide from Deadpool. Should you read Gwenpool? And yeah, it's stupid. It's dumb. But Deadpool brings up something interesting here. So, as he's telling her, it's about the numbers. Yeah. Wait, so stupid. My numbers are fine. People love me. By the way, he wanders off. Remember how he was really mad at her last issue? Yeah. I know it's a silly book, supposed to be silly, but no consequences. No. But this is also a rather interesting part because, she's going through all the sales and data and numbers. Scoff. What do you even... Wait. This can't be... This can't be right. You see, I think this could fit in just about any Marvel book. If the creative team or the editors were to actually look at the data and realize how bad sales are doing, they might have this exact same reaction. But anyway, she somehow gets from this data that you guys like me more when I'm being bad. Most people, like myself, who actually like Gwenpool, disagree with that. We actually don't like her as the bad character. She's more of a tragic character. It sounds like it'd be so cool to be someone from our world end up in the comics world, knowing everything, but you realize it's actually really crappy. And it would actually be very, very horrible given what happened to her brother. So then we go silly. She decides to come up with this plan called Gwenpool's Island. Oh god, there's pages and pages of this. Where she uses the idea, the concept, basically telling everyone that I don't even know how to put this in words. It's like a make-a-wish to get everyone to the island to play volleyball at sunset. And yeah, there's a few little bits through here, like, Stupid Tony, Bikini Beach. Look, this is how Jenna is in the comics right now. Don't at me. Okay, haha, we have the people showing up. And of course, we get the stupid, where Bucky and Cap are standing next to each other. You guys look good together. You should wrestle. Yeah, it's like all the fangirls. Remember how during like the Captain America movie, like I think it was during Civil War, maybe it was during Winter Soldier. There was that whole big group of people that said that, mostly Tumblr fangirls, who said, "Oh yeah, they should totally be gay for one another," and they tried to push it on like the Mary Sue and stuff, and yeah, that's a reference to that. One thing interesting, when Gwenpool is on the beach, she has her original bikini shorts, but her costume back here has those kind of biker short things. Just interesting that they did that. I know it's supposed to be a bikini, but and that's been kind of a bothersome thing for me. I've mentioned it before. I don't like those bikini shorts. Anyway, I'm going to probably skip a lot of this because it's really, really dumb. Because her whole big thing is people like her better as a bad guy. She's trying to stay in comics, keep it ongoing, so she basically stays alive. And so she gathers all these heroes up to have them all fight, and she'll fight the winner and show them that she'll win because no one takes her seriously. So yeah, here we have the varsity lineup, which somehow Carol Danvers made it on there, but it's because if you look at all these people, they all have movies. Okay, fine. And then they invented to be eye candy, but given better character development later crew. Which you have like She-Hulk, Tigra. Has Tigra really had character development? Atlas and Black Cat and gosh, She-Hulk. I hate what they've done with her. And then the funny panel here. The popular with younger readers, bewildering to older readers gang. And of course, it's her, Miss Marvel, Wasp, Moon Girl. Man, what? Squirrel Girl. Are they just making her fat now? Remember when she used to be skinny? And it just seems like, yeah, you know what? We're just going to have a character that, maybe I shouldn't say fat. Maybe that's offensive. That the bigger girls can cosplay as. Yeah, whatever. It doesn't matter. These are all people who have books canceled constantly. So, yeah, that's the crew. That's what it should be. Are they really that popular? Because the books keep getting canceled. Just look at that for a minute. Anyway, I'm going to probably skip a few pages. I'm going to skip a bunch of pages here because their plan is stupid. Um, what can I skip to? I'm going to show this panel because she shows the people who are not part of the fight. And as she says, I mean, obviously, I had to exempt these fine folks from participation in my glory mission. If you look at Doctor Strange, because obviously he helped her in her series. Um, Basically, her crew from the old series too, as well as the West Coast Avengers. Okay, fine, whatever. Remember how Leah Williams said that she was going to stay true to the original Gwenpool series? I think this is it right here. Hey, see, I threw these characters in with no dialogue and just some background. Yeah, we're not even good. We're not even going to put Batrock in there. We'll just have a reference that see. I flipped through a few pages of her original series. So, well, here comes JR again. Gotta kind of push him out of the way because he'll just walk right across this. Um, and they show that basically why are people doing this? Because of Tony Stark's massive cash prize donation. And she says, here's what you didn't see happen off panel in Civil War II number 8. Tony's last words right before going into eight-month coma. Set aside a ridiculously massive amount of cash for Gwenpool. And, in fact, Tony Stark himself donated a huge cash prize for the winner. That was just a cat falling off the bed. I'm just going to wing it with my flashback ability, okay? This is a really, really major power, okay? It's being used just as something really stupid, flippant, offhand. If Leah Williams really wanted to bring the character back and give her this flashback ability, this is not the way to do it. You could do so much better stuff, like have a flashback where she remembers herself being in certain conditions, certain places. So yeah, then they have Squirrel Girls asking a bunch of questions, but of course, Squirrel Girl is unbeatable, so she has to be ruled out. And her big surprise is, to start everything off, she has Bruce Banner there, and she shoots him in the head. Okay, like she points out that if you've been reading Immortal Hulk, and you should because it's great, you know that shooting Bruce in the face at this time in his canon isn't really a big deal. I just want to remind my fans of that. Please don't yell at me. So, everyone, the big thing of the fight is they're all going to have these little Sims-like icons over their head to show them who they need to fight, while lasers are attacking, and then she's going to fight the winner or something like that. Whatever. So then, of course, Bruce gets up, he's ticked, he's going after Gwen, and here she is kind of doing the pose from the cover. And, time for the cover shot. Give me a D cup, Terry. Closer to a full C, I think. So, here we come, and you don't realize you're on the last page because Miss Marvel and Miles are saying, Gwen, what are you doing? Move. Don't worry about it. He'll kill you. Nah, no, it's fine. Then she realizes she gets the little pointer thing, the same one that Hulk has. So Hulk is her opponent. And this bikini pinup cover is about as far as I've planned. But I can always just hide in my white space to avoid being Hulk stomped to death. And that's when she realizes she's got a thing above her head. And so she's about to get trounced by a Mad Hulk. And yeah, that's the end of the issue. Now, I brought up that whole thing with Deadpool at the beginning because you realize she was in a precarious cliffhanger before. And so you get to this, you realize there's no danger. No. Why am I reading this book? It's not funny enough to count as silly. God, look at that face. Look at that. I mean, what's going on with her eyes there? Anyway, back to my point. There's not enough... I guess you could say there's no threat anymore, of any danger on a cliffhanger. Oh, how is Gwen going to get out of this? Especially since she points at that she could just go to her white space. Um, does this really matter? And besides, we already saw at the beginning of this issue, after what happened at the end of the previous issue, she'll just get away scot-free. How does she and Deadpool get out from Mr. Fantastic? Who knows? They don't say. They're just running down the street at this point, and Sue forgets that she's able to put up an invisible force field to stop them when they're only 10 feet in front of her. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And that's a problem. If you're trying to be funny, the book really isn't that funny. Although it does point out a few things, and I think it's more unintentional that I think Leah just doesn't get it. She doesn't get it. Where's that squad bit about the people? Yeah. Bewildering to older readers, gang. It's not really so much bewildering. Well, if the books keep getting canceled, it sounds like they're not engaging older readers. And are they really that popular? So yeah, it's these little bits where it's almost that self-aware, just that close to being self-aware for a Marvel book. Or when she's going through the sales, and she's trying to realize what's wrong, and oh, you guys like me more when I'm being bad? This book is like missing the point. Leah is missing the point. So yeah, what would I rate this book? Sadly, of the previous two books, this is probably the best one. And that's just really a left-handed compliment. I don't know what I'd rate it. I mean, these books are bad. I'd go 3 o'clock. It's not bad. It's kind of cheeky, but the whole premise, and the other thing is, she builds this island, builds all these traps and everything. Where'd she get the money for that? I mean, that has been established that, in her previous series, she did have to work to make money. So, if she has, enough funds, unlimited funds, especially since she can just go back and, retcon by just having a flashback. I didn't even show this page earlier, so I hope I don't get in trouble. Or she could just retcon the past by having a flashback. Why? I mean, why is she going the hard way? Now, I know the whole thing is Gwen is a high school dropout. She's not the smartest character. But this is just, it's a caricature. They're just making her random stupid. And not stupid as an uneducated, she's just stupid. So, what a shame. What a shame. You could do so much with this character, and explore more of the tragedy of it. And no, she's just, I don't even know her whole plan. I get it that she's trying to show them that, she's a bad guy, she could beat them all. But she goes through a very convoluted way to do it. Almost like she's trying to make a Marvel vs. Capcom type thing. So, anyway, 3 o'clock. At least it's only a limited series. Maybe the next writer, if they decide to give her another book and give her another chance, maybe the next writer will do better. We're on to our third main writer now, so... Anyway, as always, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.